This space station is so massive,
bigger than anything that has ever orbited this planet before.
and once it is up there, nothing is bringing it back down.
Every panel here is built to outlast every station that came before it.
So how do you actually build something this massive, launch it piece by piece, and assemble it in open space? Let us find out.
Building something this size is not really about one launch. It is about dozens of launches, each one carrying a piece that has to fit perfectly
Before it can orbit the Earth, and this structure starts as aluminum, cut to tolerances most manufacturing never requires.
Every module has to survive a journey by land before it ever survives a journey to orbit.
This alloy has to be light enough to launch and strong enough to survive decades in orbit. In orbit, this panel will swing between blistering heat and freezing cold every single time it crosses from sunlight into shadow. Alongside the aluminum frame, carbon fiber hull sections take shape, light enough to launch, strong enough to hold pressure against the vacuum outside. Every hull section has to hold breathable air on one side and complete vacuum on the other, without a single failure. Each section here is treated less like ordinary cargo and more like something that only gets one chance to work perfectly.
Before a single launch happens, they already know exactly which piece needs to reach orbit before the next one can connect to it.
Every truck here is carrying a piece of something that will eventually be visible from the ground, anywhere on Earth.
Through ordinary roads, the pieces of something extraordinary make their way to the one place that can actually send them up. The material has arrived. Now it has to become something that leaves the planet entirely.
Before anything launches, every single module gets checked here one final time under open bay doors.
Every seam has to pass here, because there is no fixing it once it is already in orbit.
The first piece of a space station gets loaded like cargo, because, for this next hour, that is exactly what it is. For the first time, this piece leaves the building it was assembled in and heads toward open sky. And just like that, the first piece of the station leaves the ground for good. Before it is anchored to anything else, it has to prove it can simply exist up here on its own. Every meter of this positioning is measured, a few degrees off course, and the entire assembly sequence could be wrong.
One module up, dozens more still waiting on the ground.
The moment two separately launched pieces become one connected structure for the very first time. And it holds exactly the way the engineers said it would. With two pieces proven in orbit, the next one begins its own journey immediately.
For the first time, you can see exactly what this station is going to look like, piece by piece, in open space.
Every array has to unfold perfectly on the first try, and there is no second attempt out here. The moment sunlight hits it, this array has to immediately start doing its job. Section by section, an entire structure begins forming where there used to be nothing but empty orbit. 3 separate launches, one single, growing structure. This truss is what turns a cluster of modules into something that actually looks like a single station. Even out here, every joint still needs to be tightened exactly as precisely as it would on the ground.
Piece by piece, this structure keeps getting longer than the last launch made it.
Hundreds of sensors like this one will constantly monitor pressure, temperature, and structural stress for decades to come.
Not every attempt goes exactly to plan. This one gets stopped with seconds left on the clock.
There, the helium valve pressure spike.
Better to find the problem here, on the ground, than to find it after launch.
When it is ready, it goes, exactly when it is supposed to, not a moment before. 4 launches, 4 connections, 1 structure, still growing. Somewhere on this structure, an entire section was built specifically for people to actually live in, for months at a time.
From here on, this arm will do most of the heavy lifting for every module that still needs to connect.
Before it handles a real module, it has to prove it can handle something smaller, perfectly, first.
For the first time, the station starts helping build the rest of itself. Halfway there, and already large enough that people on the ground have started noticing it pass overhead. The longer this structure gets, the more bracing it needs to keep from flexing under its own weight. Even something this size still has to watch for things far smaller than itself. A small nudge, and the entire structure moves just enough to stay safe.
The launches keep coming, one after another, each one a little more routine than the last.
6 launches, 6 connections, still growing.
This array is what lets a structure this far from home stay in constant contact with the ground below it. For the first time, this exact array becomes the station's direct line back to Earth.
7 launches in, and the process has become almost rhythmic. Almost complete, and already large enough to be genuinely difficult to photograph in a single frame. The very last wing, unfolding on the exact same schedule as every one before it. For the first time, every single array works together, generating exactly what the whole structure actually needs.
After all of this, only one final piece remains.
The very last piece, guided into place by a structure that is now mostly building itself.
And with that, the structure is finally completely whole.
For the first time, the entire structure fits into a single shot, barely.
No fireworks in here, just quiet relief that every single piece actually worked.
Inside, an entire livable structure is finally ready for the people who will actually work here.
If any section ever needs to be sealed off completely, every hatch here has to prove it can do that instantly. For the first time, the entire structure can sustain people, not just hardware.
Exactly as predicted, the shielding is doing its job, quietly, the entire time.
Now, this entire structure can be monitored, module by module, from a single room on the ground.
Somewhere above, right now, it is already crossing the sky again.
Before it is ever declared fully operational, the entire exterior gets checked, one final time. Within weeks, what once seemed impossible becomes just another quiet shift, day after day. After all of this, dozens of launches, hundreds of connections, and years of coordination, it stands complete.
Even now, the smallest detail is never left unfinished.
The pad that once launched piece after piece now sits quiet. For now. Even with construction finished, this arm never really stops working. For the people who actually live here now, the extraordinary part of this story is already starting to feel ordinary. From up here, The entire reason for building all of this suddenly looks a lot smaller and a lot more fragile than it did on paper. One last walk through the building, where something now orbiting the entire planet used to just be pieces on a floor. Every launch, every connection, every system, complete.
Every module, every array, every connection, approved, one final time.
Now that it is fully assembled, they can finally predict exactly when anyone, anywhere, can actually go outside and see it. For the first time, ordinary people step outside, look up, and actually see it for themselves. Most of them will never understand exactly how it got up there. All of them will still want to see it pass by. Within weeks, what once seemed impossible becomes just another quiet shift, orbiting the planet every 90 minutes. Every 90 minutes or so, it circles the entire planet again, visible from a slightly different place each time. Even the people who built it still come outside sometimes, just to watch it go by. Even complete, this is not really considered finished. There is already a plan for what comes next. One structure, dozens of launches, and an orbit that simply never stops. Every 90 minutes, it gets its own sunrise, completely separate from anyone still on the ground. It's not just aluminum and carbon fiber. This is what happens when dozens of separate launches agree to become one single idea. Visible from the ground, impossible to bring back down, and still, right now, circling overhead.
This video is created for education and informational purposes using advanced AI tools and human creativity. All concepts, scripting, and storytelling are independently developed to ensure originality. Visuals and animations are generated or enhanced using AI technologies such as VO3, Meta AI, and Grok AI, while final editing and post-production and completed using CapCut and other professional editing tools. No external created content has been copied or reused. Any semblance to real-world environments, factories, or processes is purely coincidental. All scenes shown in this video are digitally created and do not represent real footage. This content is produced with transparency and follows YouTube monetization guidelines.